Everybody.
Hello,
Can
sir.
you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So yesterday we were talking about some spelling rules which are very important so far as language is concerned, and I just cited one of the examples that was given by, and some of you write that we should write CHHANGEN. Why it is so? Because you said that it is cha plus a plus ga plus a, and here it is a sound, therefore here it should be a. And for cha we wrote c double h. That was your logic. But actually, in English dictionary, it is difficult to find out a for a sound after first consonant. I repeat, if the first letter is consonant, Vyanjan, if the first letter is consonant and after that there is a sound, never you will find an A after it. There may be U, there may be I, there may be O, there may be anything else. But if there is a sound, there is A, then it is always for A. It is never for a. If the first one is if the first one is consonant, that is the problem. If we write Parbat Bhai, then pa plus a. Now pa is consonant and here is a sound, so we put a. But in English it cannot be pa. It will always be pe. It will be Parbat Bhai, not Parbat Bhai. That is the problem. You throughout the dictionary, whenever there is a after the first consonant, then the sound will be a. There are very few exceptions. Very few exceptions. Otherwise, if there is a, then the sound will be a, not a. Okay. After second consonant, it can be a, but after the first consonant, it must be a sound, never a sound. So that you should keep in mind. Next. Next rule is about SE. Now, SE, if it at the end of the word, then always sound for Z. If it is in the beginning of the word, then always sound sa. For example, rose. For example, nose. For example, cause. So if there is SE at the end of any word, then you should understand that it must be Z. It cannot be sa. And if it begins the spelling, then it should be sa. For example, servant. For example, service. So if at the end of the spelling, if there is se, then it should be z. Then what should be for sa sound at the end of the spelling? Double s. For example, boss. For example, toss. If there is a double s, then you can say that it could be sa sound. If it is se, then you should understand that it must be za sound. If se begins the spelling, then it should be sa. So these three things you have to remember. Next, the small thing that I would like to tell you is that there is there cannot be Q without U. Q is always followed by U. Okay? Q is always followed by U. You cannot find a single spelling in the dictionary where there is a single Q. Okay, that is not possible. Q is always followed by U, because when Q and U, when they combine, they become half Q. They become half cup. When Q plus U, that becomes half cup. And then you add A or O or anything else, then it becomes full K, full cup. Okay. So if you put Q, then the K will be pa, half then half, then it would be pa, and pa ka is not possible in language. So QU means half ka, and there must be U after Q. That is some things that you should remember about the spelling rules. And now we move to our main topic. It is very interesting that how will you describe a person. If I ask you to describe your mother, if I ask you to describe your father, if I ask you to describe your best friend, then how will you describe? Okay. Here, we will deal with description of personality. And the personality has two aspects: external personality and internal personality. Okay. So physical traits and characteristical traits means external personality as well as inner personality. If you have not enough vocabulary, it would be very difficult for you to describe a person. So today we will deal with those words which can be very helpful when you are describing a person. Okay. In day-to-day life, we talk about other people and we describe them, and for that purpose, we must have enough vocabulary to tell something effectively, to say something effectively about a person. And for that purpose, you must have the knowledge of certain vocabulary. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for you to describe the personality. Now, when you want to describe a person, you have three techniques. First of all, we are dealing with the external personality, and you are describing someone externally, about his body, about his face, about his eyes and hair, etc. Then you can have three methods: one direct, another figurative, and the third one is suggestive. One is the direct method. You directly describe as the person is. You can say that Mahesh is very tall. Now he is tall, and you directly told that he is tall. Okay, so you can see, and whatever you see, you directly describe. That is called direct narration. Okay. Then there is another thing. To make your narration effective, to make your descriptive effective, you just do not tell the characteristic, but you also compare the characteristic with something else. So you are using figures, you are using the figurative language. For example, Mahesh is as tall as Nadieri, for example, a tree of coconut, or tar. We call it tar. Tar is generally, the huge, tall. So you are comparing Mahesh and the tree of tar. Okay, so that could be simile. That is, one type of figures in literature. So there is another technique that is called figurative, and it is easy to narrate direct. It is easy to use figures, but the most difficult one is when you suggest. This technique can be used by only scholarly people, only great people, only great writers. It would be very difficult for you and me, even though I am a writer, it would be very difficult for us to use this technique of suggesting. Only great writers use this technique. Now, what is it? When you are using the suggestive technique, you are not directly narrating the organs, the parts of the body of the person, but you are talking about something else and you are implying something else. This is, very special technique. Let me give you one example. For example, two directors are making a horror movie, director A and director B. If director B is really artist, if the director B is really a great director, then what he will do, he will not focus on the makeup of the ghost, but his focus would be the facial expression of fear of the character of the movie. The facial expression of the character will suggest how horrible the ghost is. So he is not directly showing you the ghost. He is not interested to make the ghost more and more ugly. He is interested in showing the face of the character which is greatly horrified, which is greatly feared, which is stunned. So his focus is on the expression of the character who is horrified by, who is feared by the ghost. And the common director will focus on the ugliness of the ghost, the horror of the ghost, the makeup of the ghost. That could be the difference between two directors. I am giving you one more example. If you have read great Sanskrit poem Meghdut by Kalidas, Meghdut by Kalidas, how it begins? It begins with the narration of Parvati's beauty. Parvati, Shiva's wife. So it begins with the narration of the beauty of Parvati. Now, what Kalidas does? Kalidas does not directly narrate the organs, the body parts of Parvati. No. On the other hand, he used another technique. One drop of rain fall onto the body of Parvati from here and it rolls down. So from here and then here and then here and then here and then here, it rolls down. The drop of the water rolls down downwards. Now what he describes? He describes the drop of the water, not the parts of the body. That when the drop was on the forehead, how it looked. When the drop of the water was on the chin, how it looked. So by narrating the drop of the rain, he was telling so many things about the body parts of Parvati. So he beautifies Parvati in an indirect way. He beautifies Parvati in a very peculiar way, very special way. He doesn't directly narrate the body parts. He narrates the journey of the drop of the water with so many details. And when we read these details, we will find out how beautiful Parvati might be. So he is suggesting. He is not directly telling anything. Okay. This technique, as I told you, is a very, very difficult technique. You require great reading, you require great literary reading, and so much general knowledge also. Then and then you can write something that can be suggested. Do you follow me? આ બધી વસ્તુ તમને સમજાણી? મેં શું સમજાવ્યું?
Yes, sir.
મનાલી,
Yes, sir.
સેજલ,
Yes, sir.
ખુશાલી, okay. Should I use Gujarati? Should I repeat all these things in Gujarati or not?
Yes.
Okay. તો કેટલાક લેખકો એવી રીતે વર્ણન કરે છે કે વ્યક્તિનું સીધું વર્ણન કરવાને બદલે અન્ય વસ્તુનું વર્ણન કરે અને અન્ય વસ્તુના વર્ણન વાંચ્યા પછી આપણને ઓટોમેટિક એ આઈડિયા આવી જાય કે વ્યક્તિ કેવો છે. તો વર્ણન જુદું, સૂચન જુદું, ઇમ્પ્લિકેશન જુદું હોય, વર્ણન જુદું હોય. ધેટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ સજેસ્ટિવ ટેકનિક. મેઘદૂતમાં કાલિદાસ શું કરે છે? પાણીના ટીપાની જે પ્રવાસ છે એનું વર્ણન કરે છે, પણ પાણીના ટીપાની જે અવસ્થા, પાણીના ટીપાની સાથે શું શું થાય છે એ જ્યારે આપણે વાંચીએ ત્યારે આપણને પાર્વતીની જે બ્યુટી છે એનો આપણને આઈડિયા આવે. ધેટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ સજેસ્ટિવ ટેકનિક. બહુ જ મુશ્કેલ ટેકનિક છે. ઓકે, now we move to the very important vocabulary that you must have, otherwise you cannot describe anyone. Okay, so one by one I would like to write the important words and you have to note down. I request you to write down each and every word, okay, so that you can repeatedly read them in future, and if you do not read them, they will evaporate from your mind and it will be of no use. So I request, please, you must have a notebook and pen, and whatever I write and explain, you should note down. Very, very important words. If someone is fat, then you are describing his fattiness. Then there are so many words. You will have to understand the difference between these words. For example, fat means fat, everybody knows. Overweight, the person has, extra weight. Now stout, a person who is stout can be fat also, but it doesn't look ugly because he is tall also. So the person who is overweight, slightly overweight, but he is tall and therefore he doesn't look ugly. And this kind of personality can be described as the word stout. This is very important word. Then again, stocky, it is exactly opposite to stout. The person is fat, but he is short, he is not tall, and therefore he is not an attractive personality because he is short and fat. Such type of personality can be described by the word stocky. Now, Ponchi and Potbellied. Ponchi means whose belly is protruding outside. He has a big belly, especially lower belly. He has a big belly and it is protruding outside and he looks very ugly. Such fellow such person can be described as Ponchi or Potbellied. You might have seen some of the people, they have a large belly, large stomach, and we start to think that if he is traveling by rickshaw, then he might have need an extra rickshaw for only his belly. એટલી બધી પેટ એ લોકોના વિશાળ હોય કે આપણને એમ થાય કે આ માણસ રિક્ષામાં જશે તો એક રિક્ષા તો ખાલી આના બેલી માટે એટલે કે પેટ માટે જઈશે એવો આપણને આઈડિયા આવે એવા માણસોને they are called ponchi or pot belly. Then big bond. Big bond means a solidly built person who is not overweight, who is not short, who has a moderate length, a moderate, tall, moderately tall, and everything is in proportion, and very strong man. Such fellows can be described by big bond. So these are the words that is related to, directly related to your pettiness. Okay, so some are negative and some are positive. Which are the positive? Big bond is positive, stout is positive. Okay, and remaining words are have the negative sense because such personality cannot be considered as an attractive personality. Next, have you written down these words?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another three words, they are chubby, plump, and poji. Now these three words are used to describe that a person is full of fat. The fat can be seen everywhere, on their cheeks, on their forehead, on belly, everywhere you can easily see the fat. Such fellows are called either chubby or plump or poji. So a person who never exercises, a person who never walks, a person who never runs, their bodies turn into plump or poji or chubby. Okay, you might have heard the phrase chubby chicks. Chubby chicks means the chicks which are full of fat. Okay, so these words suggest that the person is a lazy person because everywhere there is a fat. Okay, and fat, unexercised fat. These six words are related to thinness. Okay. But again, as I told you, that there might be some little difference between each and every word. Thin means things that you know. Now, slim is a positive word. A person is thin, but if he or she looks attractive, we call him not thin. We call him slim. Then slender. Slender is also positive word. Someone is thin, but he or she looks very charming, then we call them slender. Lanky, that is negative word. Someone who is very tall and thin, they are called lanky. Someone who is very tall but thin, they are called lanky. Then slight. If I convert the sentence, if I translate the sentence into Gujarati, then slight means najo. someone who looks very delicate. We think that if we by mistake bump into that person, he will be scattered. એવું આપણને અહેસાસ થાય કે ભૂલથી આને ભટકાઈ જશું તો આ વિખેરાઈ જશે. બરાબર, તો એવા વ્યક્તિઓ, એવા બંધારણ ધરાવતા વ્યક્તિઓને સ્લાઇટ કહેવામાં આવે છે. પેટિટ, પેટિટ મીન્સ જેનું શરીર, whose body looks very small, small height, no fat, everything is small, that is called petite. So these 6 words are related to the smallness and the thinness. These 4 words describe the bodies which are constructed in gym. You go to gym every day and you work out and develop the pecs, 6 packs, 4 packs, and your muscles become strong. And when your muscles become strong, when you are 6 packs, when your muscles are very becomes very attractive, when there is no fat, each and every fat becomes converts into a strong muscle, then your body can be called either beefy or burly or well built or ripped. So these 4 words are used to describe the worked out body in gym. It is related to gym, that is most important. So when you look at the person, and if you think that his body is the result of hard work and workout in the gym, then you can describe such personality by using these words. So these are very common words and everybody knows about this thing. So there is nothing that I could tell you because they are very simple words and we use them in everyday life. Only one thing that I would like to tell you, that handsome is a word and generally people think that handsome can be used only for men, but it is not the case. Handsome means beautiful. It can be used for men also and it can be used for women also. That one thing I would like to tell. Now, if someone is ugly, and you want to narrate that, you want to describe that he is ugly, then you can use these three words. The rough is exactly synonym of ugly. You can say he is ugly, he is rough. Okay. Plain is something different. Plain means a person who has nothing, no quality which can attract you. So he is without any kind of, the quality that is generally related to beauty. So he is very plain. Means you cannot be attracted by him, by any organs, by any limbs, any parts of the body. This is called plain. And repulsive means you look at the person, and you wish that you might not have seen him, better you had not seen him, so you change the direction of your sight, you turn away your eyes instantly, because the very sight of the person, it is full of the feeling of dislike. It fills in your heart the feeling of dislike, and therefore you turn away your eyes. So such personality is called repulsive. These are the words that you can use when you want to describe the hair of the person. Tell me which words you do not know. આમાંથી કયા એવા શબ્દો છે જેના વિશે તમે જાણતા નથી, એ મને કહો. Yes, Madhvi. Madhvi. Payal. Payal.
Mossy and close cropped.
Mousy and cloak. Yes, Manali.
Sir, afro.
Hmm?
Afro.
Afro. Okay. Janvi.
Afro and blonde, BLONDE.
Okay. Okay. I will explain you one by one. And they are not new words, but you did not study them. As I told you that you do not look at the word penetratively, attentively, and that's why you think that they are new words, but they are actually not new. For example, afro. Afro means something that is related to Africa. Now you might have seen so many Negroes, so many black people, and you might have seen how their hair are. Their hair is like a honeybee, okay? So curly, extremely curly, and very strong. So such hair can be called afro. Now crop means cut, and if it is cut from the close level, that means very short hair. If you have a very short hair, generally the military soldiers have very short hair, then it is called cross cloaked. Then long, that is long. Shaved, if you shave the whole your head and become hairless, that is shaved. Now curly and wavy, this is straight hair, this is curly hair, and between straight and curly there is a hair which is in a shape of a wave of the water, wave of the sea, and that's why they are called wavy. Okay. Black is the color, brown is the color, blonde. Blonde means something like golden. The color is like golden color. That generally we do not find in India. We find in America and Europe. Some women have blonde hair, and the gray is the color. Now mousy gray, it is also one of the shade of the gray. Mouse means red. So the gray, but similar to the grayness of a mouse. Then strawberry blonde, so there is golden color, but it is slightly look like a strawberry. And ginger, you know what is the meaning of ginger? Ginger means adu. So the color is blonde, but similar to ginger, that is called adu. And brunette, that is a woman with a black hair. So these words are about the style and the color of the hair. If you know all these things, you can describe the hair of the person easily. Okay? Because there are variety of hairs, and this is not the perfect list or completed list. The list is endless because the variety is endless, and therefore the list should be also endless. But these are the general quality that we find in people. Next. Now we move to inner traits. Means inner personality, your inner characteristic. And now this can be done if you are describing someone, if you know the person fully, if you have a lot of experience with him or her, then and then you can tell about the real personality of the person. And there are so many words which can which can be one of the traits of the inner personality of anyone. Okay. But before we move to this, is a very huge topic. There are so many words I would like to tell you today. That would be the personality adjectives, and especially inner personality. Okay, that is after 5 minutes. But before we move to this category, let me ask you that all of you must have at least one best friend, and I request you to write down 5 sentences only 5 sentences. Write down 5 sentences about your best friend using the words that we just learned. Okay, we just learned so many words which describe the body and parts of the body of a person. So use them and write down 5 sentences, and I will pronounce your name from here, and you will have to speak out the five sentences. So I need some rest, 5 minutes rest, and therefore I request you to write down five sentences using those words we just learnt. Okay, that is about the external personality, only external personality. So about the height, about the weight, about the color, etc. etc. So just five sentences, then speak out, and then we will move to the very difficult topic, that is inner traits. I give you 3 minutes. Ready? You completed or not? Raise your hand who has completed, please. I request all of you to speak out whatever you have written. Do not worry about right or wrong. Just speak so that I can exactly guide you what your problems are. First of all, I request you to mention the name of your best friend and then describe him or her. Yes, Payal.
Rutu, my best friend, is a chubby girl, not not too tall but yet looks cute. She looks pretty in bright colored clothes. Her hair is shiny, black and wavy, and she doesn't try new hairstyles very often. She prefers a simple braid.
Very good. Janvi.
My best friend name is Bhavika. She has chubby cheeks. She is very attractive. Her hair is wavy black. She is petite.
Good. Anyone else? Please speed up. Anyone else? Sejal, Janvi, Kaju, Nisha. Yes, Priyanka.
My friend name is Kinja, and she is a very pretty girl. She has a well-built body. Her hair is very long and straight too, and I love her attractive voice.
Good, very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Remember, this is soft skills class. Soft skill class means you have to learn communication. Communication means spoken communication. If you do not speak anything, then there will be no learning at all. So, even though you may be fully wrong, do not worry. Just speak so that I can guide you what you need. Do you need grammar, or do you need pronunciation, or do you need the sentence pattern? Do you need vocabulary? What is your need? That I can tell you if you speak. But if you do not speak, I cannot know what your problem is. So you should speak. That is my request. Okay, we move to the very difficult topic, that is the inner personality traits. You have to understand each and every word because they may be looking similar, but actually they may be different words. So the difference you should, find out, and you should remember the difference between two words. So please write down the list. Is it over?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now these words are related to the temperament, the mood of the general mood of the person, and there are many words which are similar to each other but not same. First of all, calm. Calm means a person who generally you do not see him angry, the person who does not laugh loudly, a person who remains mostly silent, a person who has a control over his emotions. Such people are called calm and composed. Calm and composed means a person who has the control over his emotions and sentiments. Reticent, I already explained these words in the second lecture. The person who speaks very less is reticent. Then jovial. Jovial means a person who believes and can be seen always in joy, always enjoying. That is called jovial. Then jolly, it is the same word. Serious, you know. But if you are too much serious, then you are grave. So this is, you know, this suggests the higher degree of seriousness. If you are serious, but at higher degree, then you are grave. Mature means a person who has a lot of experience, and out of experience, he has learned so many things, and his behavior is according to whatever he has learned. Then we call it a mature. Then impressionable means you once meet him and you cannot forget him. He or she impresses you. He or she is such a personality that in your mind she is impressed or he is impressed. The impression of her or impression of him remains for a longer time in your mind. That is called impressionable. Then playful means who always play and who always laugh and who always jokes and makes other laugh. That is called playful. Hysterical. Hysterical means a person who becomes angry and very much angry, and his body starts to convulse. His body starts to vibrate as if he has a hysteria. That's why it is called hysterical. Impulsive. Some people are impulsive. Impulsive means they do not think. Whatever they feel, they start to doing it. If they feel that I should go and enjoy the rain, suddenly they go out. They do not think for a while that it is too much cold or what father will tell or what mother will tell. They do not worry about the world, but they behave according to the impulses that comes within. So whatever is within, whatever impulse is created within, they just follow it. Such people are called impulsive. Then Sentimental means a person who expresses too much emotions. Even though the incident is normal, but they behave as if something big has happened. Such people are called sentimental. If the incident is minor, then he or she starts to weep, starts to cry, then we call him, sentimental. Then boisterous. You might have seen that some of the young people, they gather at a place, six or five or seven, the friend circle, they gather at a place and they enjoy and they make a noise and they do all kind of dandal damal. They do not worry about the people around. Such people are called boisterous. Boisterous means the enjoying people, but with noise. That is most important. Enjoying, frolicking, playing, but with noise. Such people are called boisterous people. Then fussy. Fussy means very choosy, very selective. If they go to the hotel, some people are fussy about the food. He inquires each and everything about the item, about the dish. He will ask the waiter what kind of oil is used, what is the fat proportion in this dish, each and everything. Such people are called fussy. Some people are fussy about the dresses. When they go to the tailor, he or she instruct the tailor for 1 hour, do this and do that and that kind of button and that kind of collar and put here cut and put here small rose and each and everything. So such people who are extremely choosy and takes care of very minor things and very small things, such people are called fussy. Then cynical. That word is also, I explained you in the very second lecture, that cynical means a person who questions and doubt each and everything and each and every person. He cannot have trust on anyone. Such person is called cynical. Then sophisticated. Sophisticated means a person who always follows the norms, the standards of dressing and behavior and speaking. Such people are called sophisticated. If they go out, they will not go out without a tie. Okay, then you are sophisticated. If you speak, then you speak with a manner, then you are called sophisticated. So you follow the standard, the rules, the norms of your behavior, of your dressing, then you are called sophisticated. Is it clear? Is there anyone who did not understand a single word? કોઈ શબ્દ તમને ના સમજાણો હોય કે આ બરાબર ન સમજાણું હોય તો તમે મને કહો તો હું તમને એ શબ્દ ગુજરાતીમાં પણ સમજાવી શકું.
Reticent, sir.
Reticent?
હા, yeah.
Okay, reticent means ઓછા બોલો. We call it ઓછા બોલો. That is called
Okay, sir.
reticent. ચલો, anything else? બીજો કોઈ શબ્દ ન સમજાણો હોય તો હું તમને ગુજરાતીમાં સમજાવી દઉં. પણ બરાબર એક્ઝેક્ટલી આનો જે એક્ઝેક્ટ મિનિંગ છે એ તમને આવડતો હોવો જોઈએ. અન્યથા તમે એનો યુઝ નહીં કરી શકો. તમને એનો એક્ઝેક્ટ મિનિંગ નહીં આવડતો હોય તો તમે જ્યારે when you will describe someone, you cannot use these words if you really do not know the real meaning, the exact meaning of these words. Anyone else? બીજો કોઈ શબ્દ? પૂછવામાં જરાય અચકાવું નહીં. Okay, we move forward. Over. Is it completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, some of the words are positive and some of the words are negative. Active, you know what is active is? Energetic, the person full of energy. He works, he walks, he speaks, he does everything that it gives impression that he is full of energy. Industrious means hardworking. Diligent means hardworking. Indefatigable, a person who never tires. However long he works, however hard he works, but you do not find him tired. So there is no fatigue. Fatigue means thak. So a person without fatigue is called indefatigable. Then assiduous. This is most important words that you have to remember. Assiduous means a person who takes minute care, who a person who takes too much care in his work. You assign him his work and he completed his work within a time with a great care. Such people are called assiduous. Sluggish and slow and lazy and sloth and drowsy. One, two, three, four, and five. These five words are synonym of lazy. If a person is lazy, then you can describe him as a sluggish also, slow also, lazy also, sloth also, and drowsy also. Then conscientious. Consequence means a person who performs his duty very well and he is punctual. He is always does the thing timely. He always completed his task within deadline and performs his duty with a full care. Such people are called conscientious. And then absent-minded. Absent-minded are people. Absent-minded people are those people who are, they are absorbed in their own thoughts, so they do not listen you when you say something at first time. Then after a few seconds, they will listen you. So such people we call it absent-minded. They remain absorbed. They remain, we call lost in their own world. Such people are called absent minded. So they do not listen you at first. When you speak second time and third time, then they listen you. So they are called absent minded. Okay. In Gujarati, we call it, what is the Gujarati word for absent minded? Do you know? Can anybody tell me what is the Gujarati word for absent minded? Yes, Payal.
I'm not sure, but maybe ધ્યાન બહેરા એવું કંઈક.
Yes, very good. Dhyan Behro. Barabar? Dhyan Behro means the person who is absent minded. Yes, over,
Yes, sir.
done or not done.
Done.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Number one, discerning. Now, some people they can differentiate between two things easily. Such people who have ability to see the things from the depth. If you show him two things, they will very soon find out what is the difference between two things. If they meet two brothers, then the person will find out what is the difference between two brothers. So it is ability to see the differences. Such people are called discerning. To discern means to find out the difference. So such people are called discerning. Then meticulous. Meticulous means a person who does the thing very systematically. He has already system in his mind. He knows how to go forward in any field, in any work, in any assignment. And he completes the work very systematically. Such people are called meticulous. Shrewd and cunning. In Gujarati, we call them lucha. Shrewd and cunning. Both are negative words, and these people are very smart, but their smartness is not used for the goodness to others, but they always think ill of other. They always does bad to others, and such people are called cunning or shrewd. Then level-headed means composed. Then frank, candid means frank. Outspoken. Outspoken means in Gujarati we call it akha bolo. So what happens in real life? We feel to speak so many things, but we censor them. We do not speak each and everything that comes in our mind. Why? Because we think that the opposite person, the person whom you are talking, will not feel good. And that's why we censor some of the words, some of the sentences, some of the feelings. But the person who is outspoken, he speak out each and everything without worrying that the opposite person will not be happy listening this sentence. Such people are called outspoken. Hasty. Hasty people do not think much about the work. They just start the work and try to finish the work. So they take the decision very soon, very suddenly, very abruptly, and they do not think, they do not ponder over the matter, they do not think over the matter. They just start the work. Such people are called hasty. Then we in Gujarati we call it utavadiya. Reserved and introvert, the person who do not express himself or herself fully, but hold back her own emotions, her own sentiments, her own ideas, they are called introvert. In Gujarati we call them antarmukha. Then coherent means a person who remains consistent in his or her behavior. His behavior can be expected. His behavior can be predicted. He doesn't change or she doesn't change from time to time and place to place, but his behavior remains the same. His characteristics and his character remains the coherent throughout the span of the time. Okay, such people are called coherent. Now, these words I have marked down here line because these words belong to different category. They are related to how much efficient you are in your work, in your duty. Proficient. Proficient means master. If you are proficient in English language, means you know so much grammar, you can speak it, you can understand it, then I can say that you are proficient in English grammar. Competent means able. Competent means able. If you are competent to pass IAS exam, I can see that some of you are really brilliant, and I expect and I wish them that they are able to pass UPSC exam if they continue their hard work which they are doing now. Novice. Novice means someone who has just started to learn. Okay. If you have started to learn tailoring for 1 or 2 days, you can be novice in tailoring. If you have started to learn grammar first time in your life before 2 or 3 days, you can say that he is novice in English grammar. If you have started learning bike riding, then you can say that he is a novice. Novice means navosavo. In Gujarati we call it navosavo. Then ardent, fervent, zealous, and enthusiastic. Both these four words are synonym. Utsahi. Okay. This is zealous. Okay. Don't speak it as a jealous, otherwise the meaning will be changed. So it is zealous. So zealous, fervent, ardent, and enthusiastic. Both these words, all these four words are similar. And the Gujarati is કોઈ પણ બાબતમાં બહુ જ ઉત્સાહી હોવું. Then this word is very important. Phlegmatic. Now, what is the meaning of phlegma? In Ayurveda, there are so many tasir. Some people are suffering from Vayu tasir. Some people are suffering from Pit tasir. Tasir. I think you might have heard this word tasir, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So we all have our tasir according to Ayurveda. Okay. So the tasir depends upon which element is more in our body. If we have a lot of pith, then we will be angry by mood, we will be hysterical also, we will be hasty also. If we will have a phlegma, phlegma is also substance. If we have a phlegma, then we will be without emotion. There are so many people, they are not emotional at all. Anything happens and they remains the same. The incident doesn't affect them. They live their own life without being touched by such incident, without being affected by such incident. Such people are called phlegmatic, because their body is full of phlegma. Okay. So it is one of the tasir. It is one of the tasir, and the full word is phlegmatic. Then languid. Languid means lazy, very slow. Devoted. Devoted means you are committed to some work. You are committed to some work, then it is called you are devoted to any branch of the study or anything that you are doing. In Gujarati, we call it samarpit. Is there any word which you did not understand fully? કોઈ પણ શબ્દ છે જેને તમે બરાબર સમજી ન શક્યા હો? Is there any word? Yes, Bhavika. Yes, Bhavika.
हेलो
हाँ बोलो बोलो. I can hear
हेलो
your voice. બોલો.
સર મેડિકલ લેંગ્વેજમાં ફ્લેગમા મીન્સ કફ બી થાય ને
યસ, ફ્લેગમા એટલે કફ. બરાબર. ફ્લેગમા મેડિકલ ભાષામાં જેને આપણે કફ કહીએ છીએ. બરાબર. ગુજરાતીમાં એને ગળફો કહેવામાં આવે છે. That is the original word for phlegma. અને જેના શરીરમાં કફ વધારે હોય એ જરા જુદા પ્રકારના વ્યક્તિઓ બને છે એવું આયુર્વેદ કહે છે. Anything else? બીજું કાંઈ? Should we go forward?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So polite, that you already know, the person who is vinamra. Cooperating, the person who gives cooperation to each and everyone. Sarcastic, that is important word. Sarcastic means a person who criticizes the other fellow very bitterly. They are called sarcastic. જે માણસ બીજાની તીવ્ર ટીકા કરે, કડવી ટીકા કરે, તીખી પ્રક્રિયા પ્રતિક્રિયા આપે, such people are called sarcastic. જે બીજાને એકદમ જેને કહેવાય કે ખરાબ લેવલ સુધી ટીકા લઈ જાય એવા લોકોને sarcastic કહેવાય. Servile. Servile means a person who is suffering from slave mentality. એવો વ્યક્તિ કે જે ગુલામી માનસિકતાથી પીડાતો હોય અને સર્વન્ટની જેમ હંમેશા વર્તન કરે, તમે એને ઇઝીલી કમાન્ડ કરી શકો, તમે એને ઇઝીલી કંટ્રોલ કરી શકો, તમે એને ઇઝીલી સર્વન્ટ બનાવી શકો, એવી જો તમારી મેન્ટાલિટી હોય, then it is called servile. Then amiable, amicable, the person who makes friends easily. They are called amiable and amicable. ઝડપથી મિત્રો બનાવી લેવા વાળા વ્યક્તિઓને માટે આ શબ્દ છે. સોશિયલ. Social means social is exactly opposite to secluded. Secluded means a person who likes to live alone. A person who likes to live alone, they are called secluded. They do not go outside too much. They do not go out of their homes too much. They remain lonely. They do not talk too much with other people. They do not interact much. Such people are called secluded. You will be surprised to know that in Sweden, Sweden is a very wealthy country of Europe. In Sweden, 40% of the total population of Sweden remains single in their houses. દેશની 40% વસ્તી એવી છે જે એકલી રહેતી હોય ઘરની અંદર. એવી 40% વસ્તી છે જે ઘરની અંદર એક જ વ્યક્તિ રહેતો હોય. એવી વસ્તી સ્વીડનની અંદર 40% છે. બરાબર. તો યુરોપની અંદર આ એક બહુ મોટી સમસ્યા છે. and that problem is tolerance. They cannot tolerate each other. એકબીજાની હાજરી સહન કરી શકતા નથી. and therefore they are secluded. Then inconsiderate. Inconsiderate means a person who does not take care about anyone, about the emotions of anyone, about the feelings of anyone. Such people are called inconsiderate. Then sympathetic, empathetic, and apathetic. Now all these three words have the same morpheme, pathi. These three words are made of the same morpheme, pathi. Pathi means to feel. To feel. Now, sim. Sim means sing. Sim means sing. If you feel same, then you are sympathetic. If you become unhappy and seeing your unhappiness, I also become unhappy, that means I am sympathetic to you. If you are happy, then seeing your happiness, I also become happy, then that means I am feeling the same. That means I am sympathetic to you. As well as M and pithy. That is also the similar to sympathy. And apathy. As I told you, a sometimes is a affix for not. So there is not feeling at all. If you be happy, I have nothing to do with your happiness. If you are unhappy, I have nothing to do with your unhappiness. I have no concern with you. That means I am apathetic to you. So some people are sympathetic and empathetic, and some people are apathetic. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
problem, any word which could be difficult for you?
सर आपने वो एम्पैथेटिक का मतलब क्या बोला?
Empathetic is synonym to sympathetic. Both are same. Both are same. Opposite is apathetic. Opposite is apathetic. Any difficult word? If you find, then tell me. I will explain you once again. I will explain you in Gujarati also. Okay. Now again exercise. I request you, all of you, please write down 5 sentences, only 5 sentences using these inner personality adjectives, not external personality adjective. I don't want to know whether they are long hair or short hair. I want to know about your inner personality. Be frank with me and be frank with yourself, and write down 5 sentences using all these words which I dictated you. and which are about your inner personality, not external personality. And frankly, you can, if you think that you are lazy, please frankly write down that I am a lazy person. Okay. So just five sentences about yourself neutrally, without being partial to yourself and without being partial to anyone. Just write down five sentences about your inner personality. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I give you only 3 minutes. Yes, please. Who has completed can start speaking. I request all of you to speak whatever you have written about yourself. It is really difficult to judge ourselves, but yet you can write anything. Yes, Payal.
I am a serious person. I become sentimental sometimes. I am a diligent toward physics. I am a bit lazy in other works except studies. I am a sympathetic person. I am not so social and not so secluded as well. I am frank enough to give my opinions when needed.
Very good. Okay. I liked that you are a hardworking fellow. Yes, Manali.
I am conscientious a person. I am jovial in nature. I am a ambivert person. I keep myself calm in every situation. I always show sympathy towards the others.
Good. Very good. Anyone else, please be quick. Yes, Chanvi.
અ, પાંચ નથી બનાવ્યા, ત્રણ બનાવ્યા છે.
Okay, whatever you have written, just say.
I am reticent. My
Reticent.
nature is
Reticent.
reticent. Okay. My nature is introvert, and I am enthusiastic for new work. Okay.
I am enthusiastic to learn new things. To learn new things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else? કોઈ પણ જાતનો સંકોચ રાખ્યા વગર બોલો તો this lecture, this series of our soft skill development can be fruitful. તો આ જે આપણે મગજમારી કરીએ છીએ, જે મહેનત લઈએ છીએ, એનું થોડું પરિણામ આવે if you start to speak. Priyanka,
Yes, sir.
say something.
Okay. I am a jovial kind of personality. In some situation, I become sentimental too. And I'm not sarcastic at any time. And the other one is I'm the amiable person, amiable kind of personality. That's it.
Good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Kaju, Nisha, okay. So you have to do only very small thing, that find out only 5 adjective which can describe you, and you have to write down I am this, I am this, and I am this, and I am that. That's all. It was nothing difficult. You just read all the adjectives, and soon you will find out that these 5 adjectives are appropriate for you. These 5 adjectives can describe you, and then you have to write down the 5 sentences. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that, and I am not that, and I am not this. That's all. That was the the simplest task that I have given you, and yet some of you are not speaking. That is not good. Okay. Uh, Now, let me ask you a question. And after listening the question, you have to tell me that which adjective is appropriate, is suitable for that person. And I will give you the examples from movies, and very popular movies, so that everybody can answer. I will try my best that I will find out the examples from only those movies which are seen by, which are watched by most of us. Okay. I hope Sholay is watched by everyone.
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir, I
Please
haven't.
raise your hand. Please raise your hand who had not watched Sholay. Please raise your hand who had not watched Sholay. જેણે સોલે જોયું નથી એવા વિદ્યાર્થીઓ જ ઊંચો હાથ કરજો. There are two students, Manali and Janvi. I am really shocked and I am surprised also that you haven't seen Sole, the biggest movie of Hindi cinema, the historical movie, the legendary movie, the movie that is, it is believed that it has been number one since 1975 to 2021, and you haven't seen it. That is really, really shocking for me, because
Sir, I'm
Sole,
not interested in movies.
so you don't see movies at all.
Sir, sometimes.
Okay,
Otherwise, no.
then your sometimes should include Sholay. That is my point. If you are watching movies sometimes, then sometimes your sometimes should include Sholay also. Okay. I often tell my students that before you die, you should read out 1000 great books of this world, 1000 great movies of the whole world, from the whole world, 1000 great places that are worth watching, that you should watch, and you should play an important role to make 1000 people happy. That's all. This is called the golden rule of 1000. 1000 great movies from the world, not from Hindi cinema. 1000 great books from the whole world, 1000 great places, visit them before you die, and help 1000 people, at least 1000 people, which your help should change their lives totally. Okay, not small helps, that should not be considered. Okay, so this is one of the theory that I know. Okay, forget about it. Okay, it doesn't matter now. Most of you have seen Sole. Now, tell me two adjectives about the personality of Jai, that means Amitabh Bachchan, and two sentences about, two adjectives about the personality of Dharmendra, that is Viru, and two sentences about Hema Malini, that is Basanti, and two sentences or adjectives about Radha, that is Jaya Bachchan. Only two adjectives or two sentences about these four leading characters. All these four leading characters, four main characters. Okay. Jai, Viru, Radha, and Basanti. Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, Jaya Bachchan, and Hema Malini. Four adjectives, total 8 adjectives, two adjectives for each personality. Raise your hand and speak. There is a list. You can read the list once again and then you can decide. Yes, Payal.
Jay was serious.
Jai
Uh,
was serious. Is it? Is it?
looks like
Looks like serious. The same person who goes to Mosiji and plays a joke.
sarcastic too. Sarcastic too.
No, he was neither serious nor sarcastic. He was very playful. The
Okay.
Jai is a very playful character.
Okay. Radha was reserved and introvert.
Yes, Radha was reserved, or rather, we should say reticent.
Okay.
He was,
Basanti was energetic and jovial.
yes, jovial, energetic, and extrovert.
Yes,
Speaking
extrovert.
too much.
And
Speaking too
too
much.
much.
Okay. Okay.
And
Anything?
Viru was competent,
Hmm.
enthusiastic, and
Hmm.
devoted.
Very good. Okay. That's good. Anyone else? Anyone
સર
else?
રાધા માટે આપણે ગ્રેવ પણ યુઝ કરી શકીએ ને, ટુ મચ સિરિયસ.
Yes. We can also use the word grave because
ગ્રેવ.
he was too serious. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So still there is a longer list of these kinds of words that we will do tomorrow. So now we will have only 4 minutes, so we will not start a new list. I would like to just talk to you about your ambition, your future plan. What do you want to be in future? What is your goal? Just tell me in a single sentence or two sentences. Okay, what do you want to be in future? Do you want to be a scientist or a teacher or a professor or an IS officer, whatever it is? But what is your goal? Just tell me in a single sentence or maximum two sentences. Yes, first of all, I would like to invite Janvi.
I want to become professor.
You want to become professor in which subject?
Physics, science.
Physics. Okay. So you want to be a professor in physics. Good.
Okay.
And I am happy to hear that you want to be a teacher. Okay. Kaju, Kaju Dodakia, Madhvi, Madhvi.
To be a government employee.
You want to be a government employee. Okay. Nisha,
I want to be a government employee.
you also want to be a government employee. Okay. Payal
I want to be either assistant professor or scientist.
or scientist or professor. Okay. One thing that you should consider and keep in mind that even though you be a professor, your research can be continued. It doesn't mean
Yes,
It is
sir.
not that you become a professor and your research activity can be stopped or blocked, because each and every professor does research continuously if he is really a professor. Priyanka,
Yes, sir.
what do you
Uh,
want to be?
Either I want to be a government officer or I like to do a job in bank too.
What you told later on, please say loudly.
I want to do job in banking sector. I like to do job
Banking
in
sector.
banking
Acha,
sector.
you want to
Yes,
be an employee in a
bank.
bank because you
Yes.
might be interested in money too much. I guess so. So yes, I found that all of you have, not minor goals. All of you have set the difficult goals, especially those who want to be professors. They will have to do not only hard work, but work for a longer time. You have to complete your mastery and then PhD and then NET and then SLAT, and it is a long tiring path. You have to walk and walk and walk, and after 8 or 9 years after graduation 8 or 9 years you walk, and then you can reach to your destination. And the only benefit, the only merit, or I should say advantage of being a teacher is that you deal with knowledge. That is the only advantage that you can count. Okay. I don't find any other advantage that can be extraordinary. The only extraordinary thing about being a teacher is that you deal with knowledge. That is the only thing that can be very that can make you very much happy within, not without but within, and you can live in a very good life. The money is limited, income is limited, okay, even though it is class 1 salary, but you cannot compare the salary and the income of business people. You cannot compare. So there is limited income, but the lifestyle will be extraordinary. So today we end here our lecture. We still have so many interesting words that I would like to tell you and dictate you and write you on the board tomorrow. Do you want to ask anything? We have only 1 minute. Do you want to ask anything? Okay, then have a nice day. Enjoy the day. Thank you very much, everybody.